this looks okay. We have our new sweatpants that we're showing off, so
Yes.
I wasn't going to wear a blanket today. Can you hold this while I fix my microphone here?
Coffee.
I also,
know how to say
we're
that
running
in
a
that
little
accent.
behind schedule as far as when in the day we were recording this, and I needed coffee, so.
Yeah. Originally, we were going to record at noon, and then we got back from Kelsea Ballerini last night.
Which we're both wearing our shirts as
Yes.
well. You can't really see mine, but.
And I was like, want to move it to 2, and then she texted me today, want to move it to 3.
Yeah, I was just.
I'm good with it.
Not getting up. That wasn't in the cards this morning.
Yeah.
And then I was dealing with ants, so it kind of worked. So for those of you who don't know, again, hold the coffee. We got a lot of updates.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now it's better. We got a lot of updates this week. One is that our sweet ant babies.
Yeah.
He was sick this week. So I've been dealing with that. He is perfectly fine
He's
now.
fine now.
He's good.
He got some shaved legs a little bit.
Yeah,
So.
his booty hole is shaved and he's not happy about it. But he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
He had an allergic reaction to something and he was in the hospital for a couple days. So we seem to be doing better. And Brayden keeps telling me, like, you gotta just do your normal things. Like, I was ready just to, like, do nothing this week and just solely focus on him. And he was like, don't put yourself in that
I mean, you also
state. Like,
while he was in the hospital, it's like there's nothing you can do for him. They're helping him, so
I know.
you might as well keep yourself busy so you're not just sitting around thinking about him.
I know. Then, second, I got a tattoo on Tuesday. I have a theme of tattoos. I never thought I would be. If I ever got tattoos, I never really thought I would get anything. Like, I was like, oh, music stuff's kind of cheesy, and all of mine are music stuff. So
Yeah.
and now I'm done until I get a hit single that leads me to do arena and stadium tours, and then I'll get something, I think.
Okay.
We'll see. They're really addictive. I've like really kind of gone down it, but it has Billy Joel lyrics on it. It says, "You may be right, I may be crazy."
And it's a butterfly.
And it's a butterfly.
Yeah,
So
maybe you can.
Oh yeah,
take
you
a
can't really
picture
see it because it's still in its Band-Aid.
Yeah, you can maybe take a picture and put it in the YouTube video.
Yeah. But I guess most people don't really know I have tattoos because they're in kind of hidden areas.
Yeah,
more.
ankle.
I have one on my
and
ankle and one
side.
on my side. So
I don't have any.
This is my first like visible one. So, but yes, all of them have like lyrics or some kind of music theme to them. So this one is the first song I remember singing in my car. Not my car, my like parents' car in the back seat, like driving along, and I was always like, "Play the Friday song."
Play the Friday.
Because it starts Friday night I crashed your party, so I just vividly remember it.
And
And then lastly,
we got comfort pants.
oh, okay, no, another update. Comfort pants, which you can also buy via our link and get a 20% off code with it.
If you go to our link tree in our Instagram bio, there is a link to Comfort, and it's like a 15% off.
Oh, 15% off, I'm sorry.
Your purchase.
Yes.
If you
And
do
we
it through the
have
link, so
the pastel collection. So mine's lavender and yours is baby blue. They have a really cute pastel yellow that I really wanted too.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really go with
trying to go with our branding colors.
our branding colors,
so-
even though our couch is yellow, and really none of this goes with like what we had in mind for the podcast, but it works.
Fine. It's all good. Yeah.
But yeah, our blue and purple are still very much our colors for the show, and so photo shoot hopefully soon.
Yeah, we gotta figure out our tops.
New stuff,
But
yes.
we want to do it photo shoot, do a little refresh because our 1-year anniversary is next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will be fun. We're gonna do. So this episode comes out the Wednesday after the Grammys, but we are not gonna have time between when the Grammys air and today when this episode is coming out to record stuff. So we're gonna do our year anniversary episode as talking about the Grammys.
Yeah. So if you want to send in anything for that episode, like if you've been watching and you just want to say hi, if you have questions, if you have music for us to check out, maybe send it to themusiclenspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, or if you have just thoughts on the Grammys that you want to share your opinions as well, to include it in the conversation that we're gonna have. I'm assuming we'll probably record Saturday. Probably, we haven't figured that out yet, but I would assume we're recording on the 8th. So if you get it to us before then we can include that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we never said hello.
Oh, hi! Welcome to the Musical Lens Podcast with me, Alex Allegra,
And Katie P.
We did our vision boards last week.
Yeah,
mine's downstairs, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had Sammy K join for a little bit. I know we had a couple viewers live.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I think, first of all, I'm like not artsy at all. And I just want to say I'm so proud of the way mine turned out. Like, it looks like a very cute aesthetic collage. I'm like so proud of it. I'm just like, it's so pretty. Like, so pretty. I did that. Like, it's so pretty. And I just think it really ties in with the, like, where we're at and going into what we're going to talk about here with the Kelsea Ballerini stuff. Like, I feel like things are kind of coming full circle, and doing the vision boards last week was a great thing to really see, because I'm like really all about just putting out the energy that I want to have, which really is like going after it and not really caring that I'm 26, and because that always seems like such a scary thing in this industry. But I'm like, it took Kelsea Ballerini 10 years to get a headlining arena tour.
First album to arena tour. Yeah.
And that's crazy, because she has been in this game like for 10 years. And like, honestly, that seems like a long time.
Yeah.
Especially because we've been following her since day one. Like, Love You Like You Mean It came out, and I was a fan since then. Like,
Love Me Like You Mean It.
What did I say?
Love You Like You
Oh, Love Me Like You Mean It came out, and I was a fan since day one.
you should also love you like you mean it.
But like, I got the first album. I still love that album. Like, it's so good, I think, still. And she was talking about it.
Yeah, I remember
last night,
getting that album like the week it came out, and my car still had a CD player in 2015. So it was just like, that was the only CD that I played in my car for like the entire summer.
I vividly remember going to gigs and having that in the car on my way to the gigs. And I played Dibs, Yeah Boy, and Peter Pan in all of my sets. I like, if I did 3-hour sets, I had one in each. So I was like, I always had a Kelsea song. Like, and I did that even even through college. I always had a Kelsea Ballerini song somewhere in my set. Even when I opened for Katie in 2023.
Yeah, you did If You Go Down.
I did If You Go Down. Like, I really, truly do love Kelsea and her music so much. It's just been such an integral part of my songwriting shape and my journey. And really, the country pop side of my music really stems off of her music. So she's just been a really, like, I just have loved her. And I was like, I felt like, so I know I have no real connection to her, but I felt like such a proud fan last night. I was like, you go. Like, her concert was amazing. Visually, it was stunning. Like, you could see her heart and soul into it. I think the only thing me and Katie have discussed and disagree with was it didn't really feel like her whole entire work like she said it was.
I know in interviews she mentioned, like, oh, this isn't the Patterns tour. This is, like, a tour of the last, like, 6 projects. The sweatshirt I'm wearing is, like, each album cover. But, like, Rolling Up the Welcome Mat is,
an EP.
Is an EP, so it's not, like, a full-length album. But
Kelsea and Ballerini have full projects to them.
Yeah, but those are the same songs. They're just different versions.
Yeah.
So that's still one project, I think, era-wise with her. But she said that it was going to be, like, all of them. And it was really...
It really felt like the Patterns
like
tour.
1 or 2 from each of the previous ones.
Yeah.
Like, just, like, singles, basically.
Except for Rolling Up the Welcome Mat. That
Rolling Up the Welcome Mat had, like... 3 of the 5 or something like that.
6. It was like 5 of the 7.
How many?
It was 5 of the 7 because it was Just Married and
there were 2 that weren't on there.
Yeah, so 5 of the 7. Yeah. But it was still good. Like, I loved all that she did play. And she even included Muscle Memory from Subject to Change, which is one of my favorites. I would have loved
to have a little more Subject to Change
I know.
stuff,
I was so sad that Subject to
to
Change wasn't, I wasn't at that tour because I'm in love with that record so much. So.
I just kept wanting, she didn't have a Nashville show for that tour, and I'm like, she's going to add one more leg, because she kept adding legs. I'm like, she's going to end it in Nashville. And I thought Ascend, but she did this speech that she played the Ryman. Was that 2018? Mm-hmm. She did the Ryman for the Unapologetically tour.
We also went to, and I didn't even realize.
It was like a Valentine's Day show too. So around the same time of year as this one was. But she made herself a promise of like, she didn't want to do another headlining show in Nashville until she could play Bridgestone. And so that's why Subject to Change did not have one, because she was like holding out for Bridgestone. So that makes sense.
And to sell out Bridgestone.
And she sold out.
And when I say, like, I've been to like sold out shows, like, no, she sold it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, kind of, holy crap.
Very much side stage, almost behind stage sections too. Because at one point she's like, I didn't realize there are people in these seats over here. And she's like, sorry, thank you for coming.
And it was loud. Like, everyone was singing along. Everyone in her crew that came to like in the like VIP pit was singing at the top of their lungs. Like, it was a room full of people that were, and I didn't honestly, I thought it was going to be a bunch of industry people that just were going to kind of like were there to vibe but weren't really there to do much. And no, it was completely, everyone was there for her, and it was amazing. And Keith Urban showed up. He was the one artist I was like, I had a list. I was like, maybe Jelly Roll, because she went to the Jelly Roll concert when he came to Nashville. And then I was like, maybe Kelly Clarkson, because they have a song together. And
I saw a clip when I got home and was scrolling TikTok. I was getting all the clips from the show, and like also before when she was doing press. She's like, I wanted to ask Noah Kahan to come tonight, but he's doing a Grammys thing, so that's why he couldn't come.
Yeah, and then we thought maybe
we were thinking him because he lives here, and so like have him come for Cowboys Cry too.
And then I thought maybe Post Malone, just because I know like they're kind of friends and he lives in town and he shows up to things all the time anymore. And I was like, the one person I'm not going to put out there is Keith Urban, because I was like, why would Keith Urban show up? And of course Keith Urban shows up. I was like, why didn't I say that?
But she had a speech about it of like, hearing Stupid Boy on MySpace, but before she said Stupid Boy, she said MySpace. I'm like, don't tell me Taylor's about to come out here, because I associate MySpace with Taylor, because that's how she kind of started.
Yes.
So.
And then I before the show even started too, I looked to Katie and I was like, what if she brought Taylor out to sing Roses? Because apparently that was supposed to be a duet. Time ago.
Well, people thought Taylor wrote that, which she didn't, but like it sounds so much like it could be a Taylor song that's probably how that rumor started. So it would be cool to see that.
But Keith, honestly, it was like the perfect night though. Like, we didn't care who came out. We knew somebody was going to, but
yeah, I was like, if I had a nickel for every time Keith Urban randomly popped up somewhere in Nashville, because we had the his like album release pop-up show that we went to too. So, and then you saw him at Jelly
I was
Roll.
like, I can't do that because I have 3. So
you have 3. But
it was a great night.
There was we didn't take our picture or video with it, but they brought the voice chair. I think this is the first show that they have the voice chair based off of her story. She's like, we got the chair here, because The Voice starts this past Monday night when this comes out. So since she's on this season as a coach, they like have the chair, and they had these light up red cowboy hats.
We were trying to figure out what the red cowboy hats were. I was like, are these like, why does everyone have these red cowboy hats?
And then I finally like got to look at one close enough. I'm like, it says Voice on it.
And I'm like, oh yeah, she's on The Voice. But she had the cutest little light up KB photo op area, and like Bridgestone normally has like a photo op area for every show that they do, but it's normally like a little step and repeat backdrop.
Which they also had right next to it, but literally no one was taking pictures.
No,
with that.
because her marketing team did the literal best thing I have ever seen, and I was like, that is cute.
So cute.
Because I also like was trying to get a cute picture inside Bridgestone, but the lighting inside of there is awful, and it's so hard to get a good picture. So I was like, there's the picture. It was so cute. She had a photo before this started, and her show started last night of like, was it like 10 years ago I saw an artist, like my favorite artist here, and it was like her in her cowboy boots. And like she was always manifesting playing it, and I was like, that is just the energy I am bringing to this year. And it's the fact that I am like sitting here thinking like her and her boyfriend are like in the prime of their careers right now, and they're in their 30s.
Yeah.
And like most people will say like, no, you can't have the prime of your career in your 30s, like it's in your 20s. And so then it got me thinking of like people like Lauren Weintraub, who had success, and everyone, she's an incredible artist. Like, this is no shade or anything. It's literally a look at the industry and like where we're at. And Katie had let me finish my story first, because I'm going to do this, and I always do this. That Lauren is now doing her little mini headliner tour, but everyone at Belmont always said that like she was going to be where Kelsey is essentially.
Yeah.
In her career, she'll be like doing these big tours and all this stuff now.
Blow up right away kind of thing.
And, you know, she had her viral TikTok moment, but then like it's again with that, keeping the consistency is so difficult. And like she is just a great example of like, really don't give up, because you could have every support. You could be literally a great songwriter. You could be a great vocalist. You could have the aesthetic. You could do all this stuff. And sometimes it's half of it's the right place at the right time, because she got a viral TikTok moment and that worked out for her. But then it's like keeping that consistency, keeping people's attentions is just so difficult. And it really doesn't come down to talent half the time. And it's so frustrating. But it also gives me hope that people are rocketed so hard into stardom because of TikTok and these viral moments. I think you see people like Tiger Lily too, like before they were even at Belmont, they had such a steady and like consistent growth and such a big, strong fan base that like it's easy to see how they're continuing to be consistent and only growing. But like theirs is such a slow and steady, like consistently. So it's just tough with these like viral moment kind of people, and then like the consistency ones, like Kelsey's definitely just like a consistency one,
right?
But then you have like the Laney's. If you want to go into that.
I had a thought with Lauren too, though, of like she's rebranded to Lou and has like a whole genre shift, and I think maybe if she would have blown up in the country genre and like been where Kelsey is, or even just like been where I'm trying to think of like a smaller art, like I guess where Tiger Lily is right now, then maybe she, I don't know her personally, so I'm trying to think of like maybe she just wouldn't be happy with the music necessarily if she just had to stay in country, if she always kind of started leading pop but was like, okay, now I'm stuck in country because that's where I'm succeeding.
It feels like
so
Kaylee too. Kaylee Shore, how she was really country and then she moved out to LA. Now she's doing more of like a rock punk pop thing, but like her thing was always like country punk in a sense. But again, like she's now getting her second like little blow up moment, and she's almost 30 now too. So it's like we always just expect that these moments happen like when you're so young, but I think the industry is such a changing time right now that like age is still gonna matter a little bit, but also you can have success well into whatever age at this point.
Jelly Roll's how old? And
Jelly Roll's almost like 40. Or he is 40. I'm sorry.
But yeah, with Lauren, it's like, well, maybe it didn't work out the way people who went to college with her thought of, like, we were expecting her to blow up faster, but like the longer or the more gradual growth that she is experiencing might just be more beneficial in the long run, of she can really find her sound and her brand and all that stuff. And it's different genre and with Lou.
Right. And it's so weird to like because she is like headlining, but she's like smaller headlines and then like getting
which is fine.
But it's just like that weird moment. I don't know how to describe it really. It's just like looking at like openers and stuff like that for the big headlining tours. Like I would have expected her to be like in that circuit. Yeah. It's just a very weird time in the industry right now, and it's so hard to make any sense of it.
Who will do both, where like they'll have their own like headlining tour with the smaller venues, but then they're also opening for bigger artists whenever the dates like align, where they can kind of do both. So
I think it's just there really is no like set path as we were seeing like when I was going to concerts where Kelsea was like the opener and stuff. Like it just seems like, okay, now you've opened for a while, then you do your arena tours, then you do like then there's like stepping stones, and I just don't think we're at the point of stepping stones anymore. I think it's really a strange time in the industry of like, and you know, as much as it kind of sucks, like the independent artist is still doing a lot, but and that's a great thing, but I think it's still like the being signed to a label is what's getting you on those headlining tours. Yes. Like it opening for the like big headliner stuff. And things
because a lot of times artists that are like opening for bigger artists, they're on the same label. Yeah. Because labels will do tours where their artists are like together.
Well, and then you had people like Chapel Roan who got on Olivia's tour because they had the same producer and she was looking, and so it's really just, it's such a weird thing, this whole thing. It's just like, it gives me a weird vibe, but it also gives me a lot of hope that you just never know, because it's not always like the 10-year town, but sometimes it is, and
sometimes it's longer.
It's a weird time in the industry. And I know we say that all the time, but it just is. It really is. Like there is no just like this happens and this happens and this happens anymore, especially with TikTok. So
but like I was thinking about how it's been 10 years for Kelsea, and I like posted a TikTok of like, I went to her the first time to her at like the small venue in my hometown in 2015, and then now seeing her headline Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville 10 years later. And that's a whole decade that it took to get there. But then Lainey, you think of like her first label album, because technically she has two that were released before she got signed, but that one came out in 2019, and she just announced her arena tour for this fall, so that's like 6 years versus 10.
Well, because she very much has the traditional stepping stone pattern that you would think. So
yeah, but also I feel like the reason why that's like a difference in time of like comparing Kelsea and Lainey's timing of Lainey starting closer to the present, it's the industry has changed so much, and the way that people consume music and just like entertainment in general has changed, and we're getting access to people in ways that we didn't back in 2015 with TikTok and all that. So I think that's why she's kind of like blown up faster, and that's why she's been able to get to that point a little quicker.
Yeah,
it's just because of like TikToks and discovering music in a different way, as opposed to 2015 where it's like you do the radio tours and then
because I don't really think of Kelsea as like a TikTok personnel at all. Like I know that she got her second wind from Penthouse and everything from TikTok, but I really don't associate Kelsea with like a TikTok viral moment or anything. So
yeah, because she had like the whole radio tour standard type of starting out and doing the small venue tour and opening for people and all that stuff. So which Lainey still, I guess I can't remember if she's done radio tour. I feel like she probably did a little bit, but I think she's blown up with like streaming and all this other stuff more so.
Kelsea's also a really good example of women in the industry having to really prove themselves, because yes, she had this personal goal, but even when I was in college, they were like, she really had to prove herself to a lot of people behind, like,
right. I mean,
like
there's
being able to play a Bridgestone or do an arena tour and all this stuff. Like, she kind of had to prove like that she was ready to do this, even though she should have been ready to do that.
Yeah,
and
even from the start too, it's like when she first like moved to town, and she did get some meetings right away, and they're like, there's already a Taylor Swift. I need to hear what Kelsea Ballerini sounds like, not another Taylor Swift.
Right.
And so she kind of had that at the start too, of finding her own voice and not just trying to be like Taylor, which I think is something that any female artist coming to Nashville kind of falls into sometimes.
Sometimes you need to vent. So welcome to our vent.
Yes.
But it was a really proud moment to see Kelsea doing that. And she freaking did it. I was like, you did that. Like, yes, she should be so proud of herself right now.
Yeah.
But Valentine's Day is coming up, and I didn't realize how much catch-up we had. I was like, oh, we'll get through this fairly fast, and here we are talking for a hot second about things.
Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm releasing a song on Valentine's Day if you want to pre-save that.
Yes, I may or may not have said that during the live stream before it was announced.
It's
but
fine. It's called What You're Getting Yourself Into. It's just a love song. So I was like, let's do Valentine's Day because it's a Friday this year. So
yeah,
I figured promotion-wise it would make sense to kind of...
Hold on. Sorry, I just wanted to put my coffee now.
To kind of go around Valentine's Day and just market it that way with all the love and stuff. So
all the love. So, are you a big lovey Valentine's Day person?
I mean... We'll go out to dinner, but we won't go out on Valentine's Day because there's just so many people that go out on the actual day, and then restaurants are crazy. So Sam and I usually end up picking a different night to go out. But I'm playing Nashville Tour Stop this Valentine's Day. So.
You are. Yes.
Yeah.
And then, I really thought I was going to be such a Valentine's romantic because I'm such a hopeless romantic, but I don't know what it is about Valentine's Day. I think it's partially because literally Christmas and both of our birthdays are in January. So it's like, it's so much that by the time February hits, we're like, can we just take a breath?
Yeah. I mean, we don't do gifts or anything. We go out. Yeah,
we'll like do something cute, like maybe buy some chocolates or like buy some flowers for each other and then just like have a nice chill day. But I'm surprisingly somebody who was always as much as a hopeful romantic as I was also very cynical to letting people into my life. So, love was a weird thing. And I don't know, when I met Brayden, it was just like, I feel like I don't have to prove anything. So Valentine's Day is just another day for us because I don't have to like prove that we love each other on an extra day kind of a thing. Yeah. So it's like, oh, it's nice. And like, we'll, like I said, do something small, but like I just don't feel like I need to prove anything.
I think some people don't like it because they're like, why is there a specific day for it? Why can't you just do it whenever you feel like it? And I get that, but also then why not just like look at it as, oh, it's just an extra excuse to do something.
Yeah, like, so that's what we do. We just like.
Yeah, but.
Yeah. Okay, so I got a little history of the lovey songs here for us. Love songs. But the oldest love song was actually a love poem, and it dates back to 2000 BCE.
Okay.
And it's called The Love Song for Shu-Sin. And it was composed in ancient Mesopotamia. Oh. It was discovered in the 19th century, and before then, before there was the Bible and Song of Psalms was the oldest known love story and love poem of sorts. Okay. First written text of like loveness, yes.
Sure. Yes.
And then this was discovered by an archaeologist named Austin Henry Layard in 1845. But for thousands of years after that, of course, humans have always put to music their most intense longings of their soul and deepest regrets of the heart. I just put that in there because it was such a dramatic way to say that, and I loved it. But I mean, they have been the most diverse group of people that have sung it. Everyone from Confucius to Dolly Parton has recorded or put to words some kind of love song, and it is a core part of the 21st century. An ingredient at every stage of romance, from a first date to a wedding. So I found an article. But before that, there's also a 2015 book called Love Songs: The Hidden History by Ted Gioria. something like that.
Okay.
I'm so sorry if I butchered that name. I'm really bad at names.
Okay.
Explained how love ballads emerged in the 8th century tunes of medieval Arab female slaves in Spain. Some 400 years later, 12th century European troubadours spread their songs of longing, an early indication that pleasures and pain are natural bedfellows in a love song. And there's estimated to be over 100 million love songs that have been recorded in a variety of stages. And then I found an article that was like, why do love songs work? Like the writing of a love song and why do they work? So there is a love song for every part of grieving, from long lost love to heartbreak of love to getting cheated on, from your first or last kiss, your first date, your last date. I kind of kept the sex stuff out of it, but obviously sex and love kind of go together hand in hand. But there are songs about new love, a rich vein that everyone from Elvis Presley to Ed Sheeran have minded. Songs from time-tested devotion, such as Ella Fitzgerald and Lou Armstrong. Breakup songs, Taylor Swift, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, sold 7 million copies. Songs of devotion, Whitney Houston's versions of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You is the most popular tracks ever. And songs about making up and forgiveness, Elton John's Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word. So writing a love song, nostalgia seems to be a key element. Compelling songs, such as Yesterday, written by Paul McCartney. In 2016, published in Frontiers in Psychology, offered a scientific basis for the paradoxical enjoyment of music-induced sadness. So why do we like sad love songs, essentially, or like longing and like, oh my gosh, my heart is in so much pain. I love people so much, you know. But researchers found that sad songs induced a biochemical response in empathetic listeners, triggering beneficial hormones. There are also psychological benefits from being able to relate to a song's message. Most people can't express their feelings, so a good love song has to make them say, oh my God, that's just the way I feel. Said Cynthia Weil, who co-wrote You Lost That Love and Feeling for the Righteous Brothers. Your song has to... Sorry. That was the end of that. I didn't see there was a paragraph switch. Okay. And then I just included some like little tidbits of other types of love songs. So Your Song by Elton John has got to be one of the most childish lyrics in the entire repertoire of music. The reason it still stands up is because it was real at the time. That was exactly what I was feeling. I was 17 and it was coming from someone whose outlook on love or experience with love was totally new and naive, hence the extraordinarily visual sentiments. I could never write that song again because the songs I write now that talk about love coming from people my age usually deal with broken marriages and where the children go. You have to write from where you are at that particular point in time. Which Kelsea kind of said that even too last night at the concert, because she has a song called I Hate Love Songs. And I was trying to think of like incorporating that into this, but I didn't know how. So here's a great point. And so at the concert, she was like, even though I don't really talk about it, I really do love love.
I was like, girl, you have a I Hate Love song.
Which is funny. But
that was a while ago.
My theory, well, I have some theories of why people write songs that like, oh my God, I'm so cynical and I hate love, because I was the same way. And I was like, fuck boys, they're so awful and oh my God, all this stuff, right? And then I think it isn't until you find like a really deep, comforting love that you can like finally start to be like, oh, I kind of get it. Like, and like, you're not so cynical to love all the time. Like, you still write your FU songs, but it's like, it just changes a little bit when you finally find somebody who keeps peace in love, and love isn't this like tumultuous fighting and like big exaggerated emotions all the time, and like the toxic kind of loves that we always tend to find and think are the excitings. It's like that need for, people say like, when you're like actually in love with somebody, like it's so calm you don't know what to do. And like why I pick fights all the time with people is because I'm like, it's too calm.
Emily and Roberts released a song sometime this month called Easy Does It, and that's basically the idea of Easy does it.
How to write a love song. There is simply no golden rule. Love songs can be written quickly, so slowly, like with Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, which took 4 years to complete and involved editing down 80 verses.
Oh. Love Story was like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's the other end.
Yeah. Pattinson, who we have that book, Writing Better Lyrics, if you want to pull it up. This book,
Ta-da!
Writing Better Lyrics, within it, if you want to write a good love song, you have to avoid the minefields of cliches, boredom, and laziness that often destroys even the best of efforts. So that's what he has to say about love songs in it.
And
that's,
be lazy.
That was my biggest part about writing a love song and why it took me so long to even try to write one is because I'm one that my lyric writing has always been like I'm much more a melody. I'm very much a like full production concept person, but like my lyrics very much have to fit like the melody and everything that I hear in my head like when I write songs, and like they're still the part that I work on the most. And like I know what I want to say, and I know when things are so cliched that I just am like, no, I can't do this, you know? But sometimes it is tough to put in those words that I do want so that it doesn't just sound cliched and gross. And so like that's always been my hardest part. And I just like, even when I'm writing with you and Sammy, I'm always like, no, because it's cliched, and I like I get a little like anal about it. So love songs have to be memorable and are regularly used in movies and TV shows and transcend the charts. So a lot of people think like, oh, you know, the songs are just going to be on the charts, and like, how do you get them past that? Well, love songs tend to do like the most outside and like keeping your legacy as an artist going is a lot of times your love songs.
Yeah, because I mean, love songs too are also something that people will incorporate in their lives because they'll use them for like their weddings and stuff
exactly
too. So it's more than just like, oh, it's a song I enjoy. It's something that people might connect to and like tie to their personal lives.
Yeah, so having a love song can really make or break you as an artist. Like you could have it's the same thing of like Mariah Carey is known for her Christmas music, because Christmas music can also really make or break a career.
Yeah.
But, or not break, but they can really make a career. Right. A love song can also really make your career. Yeah. You can have one love song and be perfectly fine. Just like you can have one Christmas song and live the rest of your life so comfortably. Yes. But at almost every stage in history, we have turned to the outsiders, usually from the poorest classes of society, to teach us new ways about singing love. And that's all I had. I had a list of people. Yeah, I'm glad we had a bunch of other stuff to talk about. I had a bunch of lists. I tried to Google like top 10 best love songs of all time.
Yeah.
Every single article had a different list. It was like Billboard's was, American Songwriters. The number one was I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton and Whitney Houston. And then the other one was like, the best love song is You Make My Dreams Come True by Hall & Oates was like number 2 on that list. And so I was like, it was a very different, or then there was one that was like, I will, not I Will Always Love You. My Heart Will Go On. It was always in the top 10, but like it was always very different lists from the point that I couldn't really like compact it into one cohesive list.
You need a list that has like specific qualifiers so you can tell like what is the reasoning behind
and then
rankings.
There's like what's the most romantic love songs versus like
the most fun.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of different qualifiers for what makes a good love song. But yeah, that's all I had really. I was going to say what I just said about like how just really making a memorable love song is really the way to go, and not using a bunch of cliches, because like we said, it can really make a career if you have a really strong love song that is used at everyone's wedding. And
and I think also back to like stuff Kelsea mentioned last night of how she started her career with like kind of having her songs be more generic.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what. Okay, so I literally brought up that point to make this point, and I don't know where I trailed off with the I hate love song stuff, and then I had my little theory. But the whole reason I brought it up was she said you have to write in the moment that you are, and the love songs and the breakup songs that she wrote for her first album with Peter Pan and Dibs and Yeah Boy, she was rounding the edges.
Yeah.
But it was also...
She was, like, trying to cater towards people and help to grow her career of, like, let's make this generic so more people can, like, connect to it and stuff. But then she got into more, like, details and specifics, starting with, like, rolling up the welcome mat and how she wanted to keep that with patterns and not go back to, like, trying to water things down and have it be more raw and real. But I feel like not just her, but just in general, people can connect to the details too. And, like, even if those details don't pertain to their lives, they can still find connection within the song and appreciate the details as well.
Right. And I think just being honest within that moment too, because even so, like, it does seem maybe like they're rounded edges or something. Like, Peter Pan is still a really, like, hits you in that spot, and that's where the nostalgia comes in, because, like, it will always just, like, register where I was at my point in life of being so naive to love and everything. And, like, it seemed so easy as just saying that the boy is immature and just, like, won't grow up, and, like, you know, and then and honestly, even where I'm at in my point is, like, I'm really, like, trying to not be scared, because I think everyone in my life has always pushed me to, like, write songs for everyone all the time, which isn't a bad thing, but, like, I think I'm really starting to get into, like, my groove of these songs are to teach my story and teach my life and my way of things, and there's somebody out there who thinks so similar to you and does not have that voice present in the music that they're listening to, and when they finally hear something that they're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly my story, like, that's all I care about. So
my thought went away. Oh, I just really loved how she incorporated Peter Pan, because she did Beg for Your Love and then went into Peter Pan, and it was not a cappella, but very stripped down, where the vocals were the primary, and, like, her and her two background singers' harmonies were so good.
It was so good.
And then kind of, like, tied it back into Beg for Your Love a little bit too.
And it worked so well with Beg for Your Love. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
it was gorgeous.
It was so pretty.
It really was.
Yeah.
But I think we have rambled on about Kelsey's concert enough at this point. Hopefully you guys have a great Valentine's Day. Listen to a breakup song. Listen to a love song. Listen to whatever you're feeling. Listen to a love yourself song.
Listen to a more Galentine's, if you will, song. You can do, like, friendship songs.
Listen to Katie's new song.
Listen to my song when it comes out. Pre-save it before it comes out. Yeah. But like we said in the beginning, we are doing our anniversary episode. We'll be recording it this coming Saturday, most likely. So if you're listening to this within the first couple days of it coming out and you have thoughts on the Grammys, or just thoughts on the podcast, or anything you want to share that we might include on that episode, you can send it to themusiclenspodcast@gmail.com. You took a big breath like you were about to say something.
No, I smiled. I was like, yes.
Oh,
like,
you're like, I was like,
yeah,
what are you
come join
say?
us on the anniversary episode.
And you can keep up us with You can keep up with us on the socials at the Music Lens Podcast, and Alex is at Alex Lager Music on socials, and I am at Katie Fee Music on socials, and we will see you next time for our anniversary episode.
I can't believe it's been a year. 1 year. Crazy. Yes. But bye. Okay, bye.